My name is Neil Chatterjee. My Indian name is Sunil Chatterjee. We are originally Indians, but my father migrated to Burma. Now that country is known as Myanmar. When he went there in early 1900s, it was under the British administration. So India and Burma were the same country, so to say. So he started his business there. He prospered very well, so well that the governor of that country used to visit our business, our stores. Burmese kings, lords, are known as Sobwa. They own and rule a certain section of the country. And one Sobwa, who is my father's friend, he had a ruby mine. So he had 3 wives, which is very common with them. And then he built 3 of similar houses in the same road, these houses. But when he was about to occupy one of these houses, they found that his ruby mine has got no more rubies there. And he had no revenue from here, there. He used to spend like anything. He couldn't afford to maintain 3 houses. Ask my father, it is unused, brand new, go and see the house if you want to buy it. So that is how he bought this house. And that is the house we are born and brought up. It had 264 different types of roses in front of the compound. The grass for the lawn was imported from Australia. And every year, my dad used to get the governor's prize for roses. That was a very sweet memory. There was nobody to buy this house when we left, so it is still under the government. One army officer, commander stays there. That was the Second World War. Starting 1939 onwards, but Burma was invaded by the Japanese occupying forces. I remember, though I was a small kid, that plane, we had to go to the trench, and the Japanese dropping bombs on us. We were very, very close with the British administration, very close. So we know that they will torture and kill us. And the situation in the country was so bad that we had to flee the country. We had millions of dollars of goods there. You know, we used to import from England, America, everything. Several warehouses were there, which the British Army needed. And those are the things they took from us. And they say, all right, we'll evacuate you by plane. You don't have to walk through the border and go to India, where thousands died. So we are the only Indian family who were evacuated by plane. Those days there was only one Dakota plane in Burma. They were evacuating British women and children only, not able-bodied people. So we were evacuated from Burma to India, where we had huge landed properties. We are known as the landlords there. India is a different story altogether. Last 65 years, it is an independent country. They struggled hard to get freedom from the British, and they succeeded getting freedom in 1947. And when it was led by Mahatma Gandhi, the freedom movement, and as a small kid, I joined there. That's freedom movement, you know, joining in the procession, holding a flag, and so on, so on. So I have seen how the British tortured the Indians who fought for freedom. Freedom is our birthright. We want freedom. Every country needs freedom. So when India got freedom, there were a chain of countries which won freedom. Burma won freedom, Ceylon, and so on, so on. The Dutch left from Indonesia, and so on. So it was very interesting watching the freedom movement, and especially peacefully. British policy was divide and rule. Divide them. Now in India, they divided the country religion-wise. There were 80% Hindus and 20% Muslims. And I remember that finally the country was divided into Islamic or Muslim Pakistan and Hindu India. But India remained a democratic country, not a theocratic country like Pakistan. Ours was an eastern part of India where we are landlords. Most of our tenants were Muslims, but we had very friendly relations with them. But since the country was divided, we had to flee the country. We lost our everything, our ancestral properties, and that was the greatest migration of people in the history of the world. It is the greatest migration. Millions of people crossed the border. Hundreds and thousands were killed, murdered, butchered, religion-wise. So that is the time we had to migrate from our own ancestral country, come to India. And then finally, when the war stopped in 1945, we are back in Burma to reclaim our properties, start our own business, and so on, because in fact that was our country. My education, you see, my dad wanted me to become a medical doctor, which I hated. So doctor, he said, look, one of your brother is PhD from Wharton. He came here, I took his PhD, went back. So there is no doctor in the family, you have to become a doctor. There is one medical school in the country. There are 150 seats, 20,000 applicants at least every year. Anyway, I got admitted. I got selected and I got admitted. Then I can't stand the sight of a hospital or a sick people. I can't stand it. First 3 months, I just thrown out. I went to the anatomy department. What a smell! This. The principal found this and told my dad, Mr. Chatterjee, you have sent your son. Yes, how is he doing? I want him to become a doctor. But he's suffering a lot. What do you mean suffering a lot? He throws out, he doesn't like this profession and so on. So my dad didn't like it. So I went for engineering. And I graduated with honors and all. And then he told me when I graduated, he's on the graduation, he told me, son, you could have earned a lot of money being a doctor. You could have a lot of respect being a doctor. You'll be missing this. I said, Daddy, I'll be earning more money than a doctor earns. I'll have more respect than a doctor has. And then I visited England for further studies in radar engineering. And I had my studies there, but I frequented to England very often for studies, for observation, for conference, and so on. So I started teaching in University of Rangoon, and then I started my own electronics business, and I used to import from America and throughout the world. There are a lot of people used to come to me to learn electronics. I started my own technical school, which had several, at least 100 students were there at any time. Students used to come from Southeast Asia to get admitted and get training there. It became so popular, I was invited to the president's house. They gave me a Medal of Honor for serving the country. So I earned a lot of money there, a lot of money, a lot of prestige, a lot of honor. So one day I asked my dad, Dad, what do you think I'm doing? Oh, you are doing very well, son. You are doing very well. Everybody knows you. Your institution is very famous, and so on. That is the best part of my life. About 20 years, 21 years, I run that school. Burma became a communist country. They overthrew the democratic government, and they nationalized everything. A lot of students were killed, leaders were killed. So I had to flee the country with my wife and daughter. When I applied for my passport to get out of this country, they said, no, we can't get you a passport. Your passport is rejected. I said, why did you reject my passport? They said, how can you go? You are a very important citizen. You are doing an important work. We don't allow people of this importance to get out of the country. So I said, look, after some time, I again applied. Again rejected. So I went and met the Minister of Education there, whom I knew from before. I said, look, I want to get out of this, go out of this country. Why you are rejecting passport? So you can't go out. That's not the policy of the government to give passport to doctors. If doctors leave the country, they have to pay a compensation, and so on and so on. Say, look, I graduated so many years back. All those are outdated now. Now we have got computers, we have got color television and whatnot. I have to learn all those things such that I can come and teach here. So, okay, that is a good thing. Let me talk to the chairman of the government. Okay. So yeah, you have done such a good thing. We'll give you a passport. You cannot take your wife or daughter with you, number one. Number two, we are going to make arrangement in Russia. Russian electron is very famous. I said, you are talking sense, education minister? I don't know Russian. What can I do there? How can I learn there? Oh, we didn't think of that. Let me talk again. After 2 weeks, he informed me, we'll send you to East Germany, because those are the communist bloc countries. It's the same, I don't know German. What you are trying to do? Then again say, look, if you don't give me a passport, I can always walk to Thailand or to India. My wife and daughter are Indian citizens, they will go with their passport. Then I said, all right, after a lot of negotiation, we'll give you a passport, provided you have to come back here. If you don't come back, all your buildings and properties, government will take it over. I said, look, I need 3 tickets. I said, go to Pan Am office, and the tickets will be there tomorrow morning. I got the ticket. Within 4 days, I'm out of the country. I could have gone to Australia. I could have gone to England, which was my second home. I was educated there. I know London very well. My friends are there. I could settle in India. There are 3 options, main options I could go. But why America? Number one, it is a democratic country. I have the freedom of speech. You'll not realize or appreciate what is freedom of speech, freedom of movement, unless you stay in a communist country. If you stay in a communist country, you'll know how important it is, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of movement, and so on. One day, 2 o'clock, I had a knock in my door. Though I was very influential, I was invited in the president's house in the Independence Day due to our activities, family popularity, and so on. So I got a knock. I opened the door. Sir, I am from Secret Service. What did you talk when you went to play golf? I said, I play golf almost every day because you took my business. I got no work now. So you talk to an English gentleman. So let me remember whom I played with. So I remember I played golf with the American ambassador there. That I remember. Oh, no, another gentleman. Then I said, look, he is a visitor. He is a visitor on his way from Japan. He stopped here, and he's a friend of the ambassador, so we 3 played golf together. What did you say? I said, we exchanged greetings. We talked about the weather. We talked about the Japanese food. We talked about how many children he has got, and I continued like that. He said, thank you, sir, thank you. Such is the life there. No freedom of movement, no freedom of... So I thought this is the country I should go, because I miss those things. Number 2, my daughter was young, very young at that time, 6, 7 years old. And I said, she deserves a very good educational system. Though I was educated in England, in Cambridge, Oxford universities are there. I know Harvard, I know Columbia University, I know Northwestern University, and so on. I said, let's go there. And then that is why I came to Chicago. I visited here. I liked this place, so I settled down in Skokie. I got a job, engineering job. They offered me $45,000. I said, that is not enough. I have to send my daughter to educate to school, so on. I need a sales job where there is a commission. I know I can sell very well. I can sell anything I like. I've sold that before. So I wanted to take a franchise of Radio Shack. They promised me a franchise, but I have to work as a manager trainee and run the store for a few years. I said, I agree, I'll do that. But when they agreed to give me a franchise, not in Chicago, in Texas, but I couldn't go there, my family was here. Then I joined Electech. There was a computer company in Lincolnwood known as Electech. They were the first in Chicagoland to introduce computers. I joined there, worked 11 years there. And once they closed down due to very high competition from other companies. Then I joined AT&T as a network engineer. I worked there 5 years. That is my professional life here. That I have come to America is paid off. I came for her education, and she's a successful lady today. So I didn't make a mistake coming to America. I can talk to everybody. I can enjoy the freedom of movement. I can go wherever I like without any permit, or in my house there is no card mentioning who all are staying in that card as you have in a communist country. If you come to my house in Rangoon State, I have to go to the party office and say, my friend has come, he's going to stay here this night. That strict is there. So where is freedom there? So I enjoy this freedom, and that is why I am here.